This is a cold open. That's why I'm wearing a thermal and a hat, because it's cold.
Oh, literal.
Yeah. Oh, baby, we here.
We ready to steer?
You in the right direction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Grossi Brandon Perna, otherwise known as G. P.
Papa? SSI. Speaking to all the 1-year-olds out there who might be watching.
Listen, that's our fan base right there. We basically keep your toddlers entertained while you pour another glass of whiskey. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah,
like a lot, and we'll preview the Week 4 games. We'll get into that. There's definitely some other news to talk about, but the main story that's on everybody's minds, especially after last night, of course, is the injury of Tua, which has sparked an internet storm of criticism, has also, I think, unveiled how popular Tua is, and at the same time, like the distrust that the average person has in the NFL, the Dolphins, and it's kind of just like a perfect storm of terribleness that occurred last night. Thankfully, Tua's okay. He's home. Initial reports show that there's no serious damage, but yeah, we got
initial reports are showing no structural damage, so that means bones, muscles. They'll have to do, a scan, an MRI, a CT scan, whatever they do, both, maybe just an MRI, to determine, what kind of the extent of the head injury. And we're at a spot right now, I think, where a lot of people are questioning the NFL's concussion protocol, right? And each team's process for evaluating whether or not someone had a head injury. And there are a lot of people who are saying, based on watching TV and the highlights, that Tua, oh my God. Tua.
You got it, buddy.
Sorry, we have not slept the last 2 nights because we have a child. So that Tua had a concussion in the Bills game. Now, we don't know that. Like, there's no way for us, the public, to say he had a concussion based on the way he was hit. Like, it looked like it. It looked like it at first. They say he has a back injury. The Dolphins medical staff say he has a back injury. They clear him for the week. Then he gets tossed to the ground. His head hits the ground. That's the exact same way I got a concussion when I played football. Running, swung to the ground, head hits, on the ground really hard. I stayed in the game for 2.5 more quarters before my teammates realized I didn't know what was going on in the game. Okay. So Tua, if he got a concussion in the Bills game, he's criticized for going back in. There's a good chance that you can have a concussion and not know you have a concussion. So Don't be one of the people blaming Tua. Then last night we saw what happened, and what's being criticized and what we don't know for sure is, did that concussion and the severity of it occur because he had a undiagnosed concussion from the week before, which is possible, or was that hit just an outlier there, and no matter what happened earlier in the week, would he have suffered a concussion like this on Thursday night? So That's what we know. Like, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know the extent to which he was actually evaluated. And I trust that Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins head, that Tua was ready to go. Of him talking about it, which happened last night, and I think he's convincing in that he himself believes his medical staff and trusts his medical staff as a head coach should. If that's true or not, I don't know. I wanted to play this clip, and then we can kind of go from there, Tom.
Yeah.
Anything you feel like in hindsight you maybe should have done or could have done differently after he went down the first time?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If I would have, that would be irresponsible in the first place, and I shouldn't be in this position. I do not have any, like, absolutely zero patience for or will ever put a player in a position to, for them to be in harm's way. That is, like, not what I'm about at all, and no outcome of a game would ever influence me being irresponsible as the head coach of the football team.
So, I mean, like, it's a great statement, and I think one that you definitely want to hear from your head coach, right? Like, because he's basically saying, hey, we're going to put player health first before any outcome of a game. So that's a positive, 100%. And I think the problem is, too, like, it's something that you touched on. There are a lot of narratives going around right now. So, for example, let's rewind a whole lot. Let's go back to Sunday.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's go to the Bills game. So in that game, Tua gets rocked. The highlight goes everywhere of him stumbling after getting hit, right? He goes in, is evaluated for a concussion. He's marked as questionable, eventually comes back into the game. Ton of criticism, right? Like, immediate criticism. Now, a lot of people are looking at it and saying, well, that's the team doctors not doing their job, and saying that they put him out there and the team, they're loyal to the team, not the player. Bam, 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 bam. Right?
Yep.
But according to all the reports that are there, it's that there is an independent neurologist that also checked him out, and McDaniel touched on that last night as well, talking about it, saying that there was that third party that is there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you said, and he was also evaluated on Monday too, to make sure, like, things were in the clear. So it's literally the people outside looking at this who are not in the tent, right? They're not in the medical tent. They're not in the locker room. They're not doing this, and saying, I don't believe you. Now, again, the scrutiny could be, I think, of the team doctors, 100%. I think that there is some logic that's behind there, saying, like, hey, listen, like, we've seen many times where players have gone back in and they should not have gone back in, or they're kind of forced to, or very much pressured, let's say, to play injured. Then there's also the players themselves, right? They're like, just like, I want to play. And you said maybe they don't know they have a concussion.
Yeah. No,
like,
I mean, Andrew Whitworth after the game said the same thing about he had a concussion. He thought he was fine to go back in because he wants to be out there. And he didn't know he was hurt. Another teammate noticed that something wasn't right with him. And if it wasn't for his teammate, he would have stayed in the game. Like, the teammate told, like, the coach or the ref, like, he's got to get out of here. Something's not right. So,
sure.
Like, you can't self-diagnose a concussion. You can be like, something's not right here if you're like, you've got a bad headache or something, but it's a brain injury. So your brain is not functioning correctly. So you may not be aware how hurt you are as the player. And it is up to the other people around you to spot that. And that's why the neurologist is there.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that Tua could have not been displaying any signs of the concussion at the time. Like, there's varying degrees of it. And like, the only way you can know is, I'm pretty sure, with a CT scan. So it's like by Monday, if they thought maybe he had a concussion, that's like the only way to definitively say there's definitely something that went on here. And I don't think that happened. But so I didn't mean to step on you because you were.
No, it's all good. I think because it's a conversation. I think it's at that point, it's do the people, like, because people are going to criticize whatever, right? Do the people believe the team doctors? If the answer is no, I understand why. I totally understand why, right? I mean, you look at Justin Herbert, right? And the guy who like had a rib injury and like he went back into the game. And obviously that's not the same severity as a concussion. I'm not trying to, equate those two. But what I'm saying is like, sometimes like we scratch our heads and go, is that really going to be like the right thing to do, right? It's an unwinnable game at some point. Like maybe you just pull them out, what have you. Okay. So you're saying either we don't believe the team doctors, and I get it. Then you turn around and say, okay, well, I also don't believe the neurologist. And that's when it starts to get, like, I don't, and listen, I was the first one to criticize like on Sunday and be like, oh, the guy's stumbling around. Wait, what do you mean he's back in the game? That doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. They said that it's in the back, and I'm like, you kind of have to take their word for it. Then Monday gets tested again, right? Goes through all the procedures, passes all the concussion protocols. So he was questionable heading into this game. He's playing, and before he even takes the field on Thursday, there is already this scrutiny, already this criticism, and all of this stuff that's like going on about should Tua even been playing this game on a Thursday night, which then spawns off a whole nother conversation about Thursday night football and how people don't, like, guys don't have time to rest. Their bodies are all beat up already. And considering on Sunday, that was that game in particular, the Bills suffered injury, the Dolphins suffered injury. Like that was a brutal game to even, start with. So there's all this going on. And I think on top of that, there's also the Dolphins, because the Dolphins have recently been caught doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So already scrutiny on the franchise as well. So I think all of this going on just created a perfect storm before Tua even hit the field on Thursday. And then he hit the field on Thursday and the worst, happened. Thankfully, he's, okay afterwards. But that's all the context just leading into Thursday before the guy has even taken a snap. Yeah.
No, it is that people don't trust the Dolphins organization. It is that they tampered with Tom Brady, that they possibly asked Brian Flores to tank, that they fired him without any like real cause. Like it's all of that shit. And it's that Tua is a quarterback. So it's a premier position that draws a lot of attention. We see concussions like this happen every single season. Like last year when Donald Parham got hurt for the Chargers, same thing happened up. Like he seized up in the end zone. I know it happened to someone else last season. But since Tua plays QB, it's going to draw more attention. And it seems like the real issue is that there might just be a problem in the NFL's concussion protocol in actually figuring out how to diagnose every possible concussion. Now, like the independent neurologist who checks him out in the game, if like Tua's not showing the symptoms that are associated with the concussion, he's like, no, my back's what, like that hurts. My ankle hurts even worse. Like he's going to believe him there. But again, it's like after that, somebody has to look at the hit, because before Tua stumbled, it was the same play. It's not like a crazy illegal hit, but his head flips back and hits the turf. That's what happened in the Bills game. Somebody needs to see that and go, I know he's saying like he's fine, but a concussion could have happened on this play. It's a play that causes a lot of concussions. We should take a look at that. Whether that's the CT scan, another evaluation, and more in depth, I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor, right? Like,
yes, correct.
We're just guessing there. But like, I think that's where the problem is. And I think that can be fixed by the NFL.
Because it seems like everything happened very quickly, right? For you to be like, oh, no, he's fine. Like he has no, and again, I think the onus falls on that third-party neurologist that's there, because that is their job, right? Because if you don't trust in the team doctors, you don't trust in the Dolphins organization. Like I said, I get it. I totally get it. it falls down to that third-party neurologist, right? And you would hope that being independent, they don't really have any loyalty to the team or anything like that. They're like, hey, I'm here to do my job. Look at the player. You have a concussion. You don't have a concussion, what have you. And I think because it happened so quickly and he goes right back out there, that just adds to the scrutiny there. So I think that there's this assumption that, hey, on Sunday, this guy suffered a concussion. And we don't know. We can only go off the word of the Dolphins franchise, the independent neurologist, the concussion protocol that he went through during the week. That's all we know. You know, and again, you can scrutinize that and be like, well, how independent is the independent? Like, where are they? Like, I don't know. I truly do not know. I don't have a medical degree. I'm not in the blue tent. I think that there is definitely some scrutiny to go around. Again, and we haven't even talked about Thursday yet. This is just like going into it. This is all the crap that is circling before Tua takes the field. And then what happens.
Yeah. And I think, like, you know, you're trying to figure out like who's to blame or what's wrong. There's like a lot of moving parts there. And I think the NFL, like that comment that was just brought up, that each team has their own standard operating procedure for the medical staff. It shouldn't be each team. It should be one standard the NFL does for all the teams, right? And it looks really bad because it's a Thursday night game, which we already hate because of the short recovery time. But it looks bad because it's like, oh, we wanted to get Tua out there because it's a primetime game. We need to have the quarterback on the field because more people are going to watch if, like, the quarterback starting playing. I don't think it's on like Mike McDaniel to diagnose concussions for his team. He's listening to the medical staff. That's all the information he has access to. Again, can him and other coaches spot possible plays where somebody got injured? Yeah, afterwards, like, you can't expect him to even see, exactly what happened on that play when you're being a head coach and you're calling the game, like, in the Bills game in that moment. And if a player shows any sort of like symptoms through the week, coaches should be trained to spot those sort of things. But again, you've got to rely on the people whose job it is to figure that out. If they tell you he's good to go, if Tua tells you he's good to go, like, that's all you have to work with.
That's what you have to work with. And I think that there can be criticism, right? Because then it's like, first of all, it's in the moment, right? If you're Mike McDaniel and saying, like, am I putting this guy back in, right? Am I putting what is now our franchise quarterback back into this? The doctors are saying yes. He's saying he's good to go. Again, I think you could criticize, like, hey, maybe just to be safe, you keep him out.
Yeah.
But again, you're also looking at, like, and that's where, like, the pressure of the game comes in. That's where the pressure, it's a split second decision. All of this goes around. And I think that there's some criticism to go around there. But again, it's basically saying, like, we don't trust the doctors if you're having that scrutiny again before Thursday, and basically saying it. Because, like, the other thing that I was seeing, and I was like, this is where they started losing me a little bit. So let's talk about Thursday. Thursday happens, right? He falls. I was streaming the game, hits the ground, immediately goes into fencing position, or what looks like fencing position, right? People during the chat while it was happening live, right? They're like, oh, he broke his fingers. I was like, no. And again, not a doctor, but as someone who has seen a few MMA fights and have seen people get knocked out, that's what it is. Or at least that's what it very much looked like. He's on the field for 10 minutes. They load him up on a stretcher. You're hoping that you see like a thumbs up or something like that. There's none of that, right? Apparently, McDaniel say that, like, at some point, like, Tua was asking about the play, so at least he was, like, kind of cognizant a little bit. They bring him off to the medical center. It's one of the best that's what the chat was telling me. Like, it's one of the best medical centers in the world. Like, they got, like, top of the line doctors. He winds up, the information starts trickling out that he can move, ligaments and extremities. He can do all that. He gets discharged, and then he flies home with the team.
Right.
And immediately after that comes out, people go, well, why isn't he being kept overnight? And then as soon as that comes out that he's flying home, they're like, wait a minute, why is a guy with a concussion flying on an airplane? He shouldn't be flying on an airplane. And this is where I'm like, okay, if we're saying it's the team doctors that are a problem, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the independent neurologist problem. Okay, that's a little bit more of it, but okay, got it. Then it's like this army of doctors at the hospital basically saying, oh yeah, you're good to go, buddy. Smacks him on the ass and says, you're good. Yeah. I don't imagine that they would do that unless they were 100% sure, yeah, he can get on a plane and fly home tonight.
Yeah, it's all a little bit too reactionary, like on our part as fans.
And I get it.
As prominent voices in sports media too.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you can be misdiagnosed when you go to the hospital, but what you're saying at some point, you got to trust, the place he went to. They had no interest in sending him home on the plane early, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they're like, look, that's probably not safe. We're going to keep you here tonight. Like, no, it's not like Roger Goodell went into the hospital and was like, he will fly home with the team. Like, there's like the NFL wouldn't care. The Dolphins wouldn't care if they said, keep him here. Like, it's a point like you can bring up, but you're right. I don't think has merit to the story. It's just we like to get upset and angry about something when we think there's an issue there. And I think there is. I think the NFL's concussion whole protocol can be better. And it's 100%. Gotten better from where it was, too. Like,
listen, like this, I want to be very clear, too. Like, this isn't to be like, oh, Tom Grossi got to, protect the... I'll criticize the NFL all day, every day. Yeah, like, how many years did it take and how many people had to die for them to be like, oh, yeah, concussions are a thing? Yeah, what I'm talking about is where's the motivation from the doctors last night who are at the medical center to be like, oh, yeah, we got a lot of pressure to smack Tua on the ass and discharge him and send him home.
No, I mean,
unless you're saying it's full-blown negligence by everybody, which it could be. But again, I just like we don't have access to that info. That's it.
No, and I think like hopefully what happens because of this, that the protocol gets better, that it gets stricter, that they become even more cautious with head injuries, and they figure out another step to ensure that guys aren't playing with them. Because not seeing a concussion is one thing, and then the real danger is sending a guy out to play in a football game if his head hasn't fully healed from a concussion. And you know what we see every week is guys go into concussion protocol and then they are cleared to play 7 days from when they get it.
100%.
That is
which
like
should not be a thing.
The minimum time your brain actually heals from a concussion, minimum, best case scenario based on what science reports is 7 days. They say the average is like 10 to 14. I think they should just be like, if you get a concussion, you can't play for 14 days, regardless of severity. Even if it's a minor one, you gain nothing by going back 1 week early to the longevity of your life, to your quality of life later, to risking a worse injury. That's something that needs to be addressed because I thought Mike Kliss, he's a reporter here in Denver, brought up a good point about Teddy Bridgewater last year.
Yeah.
That the thing that ended Bridgewater's season was a really bad concussion. And he missed several weeks. Let's see. He spent a night in the hospital, missed the final 3 games, and was, placed on IR. And it was his second concussion in 11 weeks. So, hopefully what we see here is that Tua is not rushed back. I don't think he will be. I think the Dolphins are under a microscope right now. So they'll be, overly cautious at this point. But hopefully this process changes from this. That's the best case scenario. Will it? Who knows? There's no reason for it not to, but it's scary. Nobody wants to see that. It's part of the game, though. Players know they're risking that going out there. They're willing to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing, like, you have to understand is they get it. It happens. It's really ugly when we see it. But that's also why people watch the game, like, because any play can be really bad or like really great. And it's all part of the excitement and the entertainment of it. And it's the risk. It's not like people aren't entertained by concussions, but they're entertained by the fact that guys are risking injury every single play.
I mean, how many times was like SportsCenter growing up, it was like the big hits, right? And it literally was just like hitting them as hard as they possibly can. I mean, that's football. And it's scary because like the reality then hits you for like 10 minutes while a guy is laying on the field and then is stretchered off and he's not moving. Like that's the reality of it. So again, this is just to kind of like discuss everything around it, because neither Perna nor I are doctors. We're not giving medical advice. We're not claiming we know or anything like that. No. It's that the NFLPA was already investigating from this past Sunday. And again, when we're talking about the NFL, that's where I'm like, scrutinize away, because there's room for that. I mean, even then NFLPA, I mean, good God, the amount of shady crap that goes on with that. And that's just talking with current and former players.
What's an NFL investigation even mean?
Yeah, it's just like, don't worry, we'll look into it.
We'll take care of this.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
I'm not a doctor, but I do feel like I almost have a law degree based on everything I've covered with the NFL. So legal advice, I'll give that. Medical advice. Yeah.
So, I mean, the number one thing is hopefully Tua is okay. He's going to go through more tests and everything. And it's like you said, now the Dolphins they were already kind of like under a microscope on Sunday. And now everything they do is going to be incredibly criticized. So, but again, maybe, and I just hope Tua is okay. Maybe this is what it takes for the NFL to go, you know what? I understand. Like, maybe he was cleared. Like, maybe he's good to go, everything like that. Maybe we should still err on the side of caution and be like, a guy has to stay out for X amount of time. And nobody's going to be happy about it, right? The NFL doesn't want to lose money because nobody wants to see, like, Jacoby Brissett versus Mitch Trubisky like we saw last Thursday, right? No one wants to see that. But at the same time, if we are going to say, hey, the players are important, their health is important, like the NFL kind of sort of claims it to be.
Yeah.
To a point. I mean, we saw it again. I'm not equating these two things, but we saw it with COVID too. Playoffs hit, and then it was like, well, we're not going to test no more, only if you got symptoms. Take care.
What's really getting overlooked here, and this is a shame, is the severity of back injuries. If he had a back injury, he's playing through a back injury. That's crazy to me. Thrown my back out so many times. That also takes like 10 days to heal. And I think there's something to be said by like guys do it all the time. They play through injuries. And when you're playing through an injury, what we never really discuss is that puts you at risk for another injury or a greater injury.
Sure.
And if you're a quarterback and you're playing through a back injury, then maybe you are more susceptible in a short week specifically to suffer a worse injury. So he maybe didn't have a concussion. Maybe having a back injury, part of the reason he gets thrown to the ground the way he did. We don't know. Like, you're just guessing at that point. But
yeah, Raymond,
all I want to say is back injuries, they're also severe. And we should not take those lightly, guys.
Well, so Raymond, to your point, I mean, yeah, again, it could end his NFL season because we don't know. I mean, that is the ultimate issue, is that nobody knows. So they're going to run more tests. They're going to do all that stuff. And you look at, I know that he is not a popular person at the moment, but you look at Brett Favre, who has a history of, what did he say? Like I think I had 1,000 concussions, right? Like, that's a thing. Like, this kind of stuff is not something you play around with. And for Tua, he's a franchise guy. Yeah, like it's, you can't mess around with it. And we'll kind of just see what the fallout is going to be. But it's like Perna said, they're going to be under a microscope with everything.
Yeah, how they handle this moving forward is really important. The other thing, like the football thing that I took away from it was just how much better Tua is than Teddy Bridgewater right now with that Dolphins offense. Like Teddy came in, looked good for a series or two. And one thing like Tua has been criticized about until like maybe like the last week is that he's not a good quarterback. And like what I saw was, and Tua wasn't even playing his best football yet, but I think he has better control and command of that offense. And in terms of like football, yeah, he is better. Like that's why he's the starter. That's why they want to move forward with him. And it's just one of those other things that like he gets criticized too much for, like unjustly criticized. Him and Russell Wilson right now, most unfairly criticized quarterbacks out there. Tom,
1 through 6 touchdowns, Perna.
Most unfairly criticized QBs. Time to shift gears from the hospital bed to football beds. The bed we lie in. Make your bed, they say.
Yeah, and again, I do like Miami fans too. Yeah, like it's not. It's not. All right. Yeah. Let's
from that game, outside of that, it was an interesting game. Joe Burrow sacked just one time. One time Joe Burrow was sacked. The Bengals set a record, a world record for only allowing one sack of Joe Burrow. Hit just twice on the night, pressured just 14 times. So we finally saw Cincinnati's offensive line look a little better. That was one of my takeaways. It's like, oh, okay, they're actually protecting their quarterback for the first time in 2.5 years.
Well, one of the things that stood out to me was on the first drive, you had Joe Mixon score a touchdown. I'm like, is that his first rushing touchdown of the year? And going back and looking, I was like, oh yeah, that's his first, because Joe Mixon has, and you could say whether it's Mixon, I think it's the offensive line because Mixon was great last year, but the O-line just hadn't been good. And it was rough. Don't you put those guns away. I saw exactly what you were going to highlight. There you go. Sun's out, guns out, baby.
Make sure you check out Jess's video, Jess Brain. She vlogged our hangout with Derek Wolf and Gary Kubiak and Wade Phillips.
There you go.
Shout out to my wife.
Nailed it.
Guns are back.
Now the guns come out once again. But yeah, so the Bengals definitely looked a bit more balanced. Jamar Chase had a relatively quiet night until the end, but it was kind of like T. Higgins. He had a great night. Like I said, they established the run game. Tyler Boyd throwing for a first down on some trickeries.
Boyd.
But I gotta say, there was some scrutiny still because you had like a 4th and 1 and you're pitching it to the right. And that got sniffed out immediately instead of settling for a field goal, which would have been 3 points there. It was windy, but yeah, I think what I was noticing in the chat was that there continued to be scrutiny while that game was very close of Zach Taylor once again. And it was like, these play calls are interesting, to say the least. And I know that got a bunch of criticism last year, but then that kind of died down once they made it to the Super Bowl because they were like, look how good they are. So, I don't know. They're back at 500, so they're like, you could argue they are back on track. But we're gonna see.
And let's see here. The Bengals play the Ravens in 9 days, October 9th. That's their next game. Like if Miami didn't play the Bills and, get beat up in that game and Tua doesn't leave this game, I'd have been like, this was a really good test for the Bengals.
Yes.
But I don't think they got the best version of the Dolphins. So I think like we'll know more about where the Bengals offensive line is, where Zach Taylor is, and how, they're calling plays when they played the Ravens next.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we all Eli Apple likes to talk trash, even though, he's going to play against the best receiver in the league. I don't think any of us really Eli Apple had a decent season, but his trash talking kind of caught up to him, specifically the Super Bowl. Leading up to this game, he's talking more trash. And I think we all poo-pooed on him. You're not going to be able to cover Tyreek Hill. According to Pro Football Focus, when Eli Apple was the defender closest to Tyreek Hill, Hill held to 1 catch, 2 targets, 7 yards. Tyreek Hill, outside of that, had 160 yards of receiving last night. So I think Eli Apple got the best of Tyreek Hill, or maybe more appropriately, wasn't tasked with covering him all night.
Could be that one. Could be that one.
But anyway, it was a game that would have been interesting, but it was marred by the injury, and that's all that anybody's going to remember from
honestly, yeah. I mean, after it happened, people, I don't want to say checked out, but there was definitely a shift in the game, and it completely makes sense considering it was a brutal injury. Also announced that DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown are out for Sunday.
Yeah. God. Amon-Ra, it's like all my receivers are cursed.
Yes.
I feel bad. I feel like I shouldn't have drafted anybody.
Should be like, you know what? Just let the computer do it.
I'm like, I'm doing so good. Amon-Ra, Gabe Davis, sneaky late, Michael Thomas, out. We'll see. Gabe Davis still questionable.
Amon-Ra.
I'll say Amon. Amin. What's the difference, really? As I gave Adam shit yesterday for saying Tua Tagovailoa wrong.
I just Kirsten's going to be in here every single time and spell it phonetically for you. It's like, min, ra. Amon.
Show me a clip of his dad saying his name. Then I'll believe it. Until then, I think you guys are just messing with me. Oh, Perna can barely read. Let's tell him to say it wrong. That's what I feel like's kind of happening here, guys. Amon, ra 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 St. Brown.
Again, we do need to put a beat behind it. We have to.
Yeah. Lady Gaga's best song. All right.
Let's look at some week 4 games.
Let me tell you what game I'm looking forward to, Tom.
What, buddy?
Jaguars Eagles. Ooh, sneaky good game of the week. Only sneaky because nobody thought the Jags would look better. We thought eventually maybe they would look better. But they're playing some football. They are playing some foot. Their defense is playing well. See, that's why Jess married me.
People are like, downvote. Jess is like, I laughed.
Yeah. She thinks I'm funny, and I was like, here's a wedding ring. Put it on.
Put it
on now.
Before you change your mind.
Jags defense been solid.
Yes.
Another Trayvon Walker. We all laughed at the Jags for drafting Trayvon Walker, and he's playing pretty good, as is Devin Lloyd. And obviously Trevor Lawrence is playing better, but I am curious to see how Jacksonville's defense holds up against Philadelphia's offense, because I think Philadelphia will get the best of them. I think they'll score a lot of points. I'm not sure Jacksonville can keep up with Philly. We're going to find out who the Jacksonville Jaguars are, where they're at. I hope it's competitive. I hope it's close, because I think that bodes well for Jacksonville moving forward. Yeah. But this is I don't know. I just can't get over that this is going to be a good game.
Before we continue. Yeah, so that came out during the stream yesterday. So he was a second round pick in, I think it was 2013. Please forgive me if I'm incorrect. He was a tight end for the Cowboys. I believe he spent some time on the Dolphins too and a couple of other teams.
The Ravens.
But fell, in a rock climbing accident and passed away in California. So that was tough because that started happening like while the stream was going on. It was after the Tua injury, and then that news started coming out. So yeah, didn't see that one coming. So hope just good thoughts with the family and friends. That's rough. Sorry to put a damper on it, but
way to bring it back down, Tom.
Sorry. Oh, LQ, of course. Hold on. I got you, LQ. I got you. Hold on. Found the dad saying his name.
Oh yeah. Show me the evidence.
Hold on. I got it. Hold on. She goes, I'm this spiteful. All right, we got to go to 207. Hold on. All right, let me go to all here. All right. I'm gonna go to 204. All right. Please hold. Perdo's gonna be like, how do we even know that's his real dad? That might not be his dad. All right, here we go. Share screen. Share. Okay. All right, here we go.
Sounds silent to me, Tom.
Oh, can you not hear it at all?
I can hear nothing.
Hold on.
We hear nothing.
Really? Nothing? Come on, man. All right. You know what? I'm gonna download the video and upload it. We're gonna get this. Talk about games.
Okay, next game that I am going to discuss. Let me look at the schedule here.
Talk about your Broncos, buddy. Big game coming up, huh?
Oh yeah. Broncos got a big game against the Raiders.
I got this.
The good news, okay, Lions fans, you're going to be without DeAndre Swift, without Amon-Ra St. Brown. We'll see. To be determined. You're playing the Seahawks, okay? It sucks those guys aren't in because they're a really key part of your offense. I think losing Mr. Ra is a bigger blow to the offense. Because after him, I'm not sure you have the receivers to pick up. He was dominating. He was like a top 5 receiver in the league. So his presence is going to be harder to replace. I like Jamal Williams behind DeAndre Swift. I think the running game will be productive. And I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are good. So Detroit, you're down some key players, but I look for you to get a big win against the Seattle Seahawks. And I look for probably TJ Hawkinson needs to step up a little bit there in the passing game.
Considering I drafted him, I would hope so.
Yeah. And I mean, DJ Shark, he's good. He just wasn't a Minra.
Yeah. So,
and maybe are we going to get to see a little bit of Craig Reynolds in the backfield? Hard Knocks hero for the Lions. That'd be nice.
Okay. I got it, buddy. I got it. I had to clip it. All right, you ready for this?
Let me see the evidence.
blow your own horn. Sometimes there ain't no music. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm a raw, and my kids are it's.
Amen. He literally says amen.
He says it like I.
Blow your own horn. Sometimes there ain't no music. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm a raw, and my kids.
I'm on Raw.
He's saying amen.
He didn't say amen. He said Amon. Amon Ra St. Brown. Amon. You guys are going to hear whatever you want there. I hear it.
It
doesn't say amen.
This is the blue gold dress. And this is
This is. I thought okay, this is going to be super clear. We'll have fun with me being wrong, but I think I might be friggin' right.
We got to get his dad on the show. And just be like, all right, what questions do you have for me? And it's be like, it's literally Don't they say it on Hard Knocks? But you want the dad. You want his own.
That's the man who named him. Of course I want the way he says it.
There's no.
I think we're putting a little too much emphasis on a vowel here, guys.
Oh, you're on the horn. Sometimes there ain't no music. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm Ra, and my kid.
Amon Ra. Amon Ra. Amon Ra. Ra. Look, man. I don't know. I think this is dividing us even more at this point.
Don't do that. LQ is gonna go find like every video, like she's gonna find his birthing video and the parents going, I want this child's name to be.
Yep. That did not clear it up. Did not clear it up.
LQ,
Sorry,
why are you giving me a video that just gives him more ammunition? Oh God.
Woo! Finally.
I do like that little phrase though, blow your own horn and there ain't no music.
Yeah, that at first I was like, wait, what did you just say?
That's a pretty good line right there.
That's good. I mean, like, because he was Mr. Universe, right? Because he was a bodybuilder. And I think like you got to have cool sayings like that. One, if you succeed.
Equanimous. He was a Packer. Come on.
Equanimous
St. Brown.
Equanimous. But then to get you like both of your sons to be super talented, you have to have catchy phrases like that to motivate them.
You got
it. If you don't, they're not gonna.
That was a part of Hard Knocks or whatever, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, our dad like pushed us, like,
He made us weight train like they did in 50 years ago."
And they're just like, "We don't need no fancy machines.
Yeah.
We have."
Like, there will be no stretching before you lift, son. Is this good, Dad? I was Mr. Universe. Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. All right. Other games that we got going on. We got our first. Ladies and gentlemen, I know why you're really here. You're here for Brandon Perna's accents. We got our first London game.
That a shrimp on the barbie.
That's what they really tune in for.
Hey, it's me in big old London town. Hey, what are you talking about? It's me, a London guy, you fucking guy. You get in the taxi cab and let's go to the Big Ben, huh? Yeah, I'm a London official, a gabagool.
So the first London game, you got the New Orleans Saints, in which Andy Dalton looks like he's going to be that QB1.
Might be
playing up against the Minnesota Vikings. I don't want to say it's a must win for both because it's, again, just week 4, but the Vikings better hope they win. And Saints fans just pray that he looks better than
Andy Dalton he'll play. He might be. I think they got a better chance to win with Dalton. Andy plays good for like one game, and then you're gonna go through whatever the Cowboys did.
Berta.
What?
I love everything about this community so much. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on. I got to get you this. LQ, can you email that to me? Because it's not.
Hey, God save the queen, huh?
Wait, no, maybe I could open this in a new tab.
King. It's God save the king now.
That's true. Guys. That's accurate. Come on, guys. Hold on. Here you go, Perna. I don't know if this is going to show up well enough because I can't download it right now, but.
Hey,
this is Perna to a T right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, this needs to go away. Yeah. That's it. I'm on rock.
Hey, Joey was the best part of Fred.
So yeah, that's about right. So yeah, across the pond, got that game. I pray the Saints win. I really do. I really, really do. Buffalo and Baltimore.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
I want to get your opinion on something.
Sure.
I'm legitimately thinking about streaming 4 games on Sunday. The most I've ever done in a day is 3.
I mean, look, man, it's your life.
The London game is a London game, right? So I want to do that one. And then the 1:00 is the Bills Ravens, which would be really good.
Yeah.
And then 4 o'clock is the Packers Patriots, and then of course Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do that to yourself, go for it. I would say give yourself a break in there.
Oh yeah, no.
But if anybody can do it, Tom, you can.
I'll take a break, obviously. I'm going to do the Packers reaction video in between the 4 o'clock game and the Sunday night game, obviously.
I hate you.
Come on, Perna.
So
of course we're going to take a break. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to have to leave during halftime and take the puppers out and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
actually do it. Do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to come into the Sunday night game. He'll be like, how you doing, buddy? As I'm like decrepit and like leaned over.
I'll be resting.
Ooh. You know what? It might be Perna, because when Perna curses, he curses.
Yeah, I'll be streaming one game on Sunday, and it will be barely enough to handle. Barely.
Yeah.
Broncos will play the Raiders. I've talked about it a lot. I don't want to bore people. I am a little scared. Don't know what's going to happen. I'm just hoping Josh McDaniels proves to be an idiot for one more week.
Just one more week. After that, they can turn it around. But just one more.
Exactly. All I want to see is the Broncos offense play well against a suspect defense. Didn't perform against the Niners. They've got a very solid defense. Texans are not a good football team, but if you got to put a strength on the Texans, it's their defense. Week 1, Seattle, that was more nerve. The offense played well. They just didn't score. So I need something. To hold on to next week to give me hope on a short week for Thursday Night Football, Colts, which I will be at that game. So
I was gonna say, do you want to stream it together? Now
I would have loved to. Yeah, but I'm going. I'm going with my buddy.
That crap alone.
Yeah.
I mean, the Broncos offense has been really fun to watch this year.
Yeah. Let's just hope I'm not leaving that game early.
I'm just gonna go home.
I know you want it, Guillermo. Not this
Broncos
week.
fan reaction is just you drinking a beer. That's it. Yeah, but yeah, I think Bills Ravens good. I actually picked the Ravens to win. Sorry, Bills, just because of the amount of injuries that are there and being played in Baltimore. I was like,
it's tough. That's what I mean. Here's the thing: it's like you've got probably two of the 3 best quarterbacks in the league right now, and Allen and Lamar Jackson going head to head. The difference is last year Lamar had the injured team. Right now, Josh Allen does. But they have their offensive weapons, so they can hang in this game. Hopefully, Gabe Davis plays. So you got Diggs.
It's gonna the defense of Baltimore is the most sus thing. Like that's the one that I'm looking at and being like, that's why they're gonna lose.
Here's the question: is an injured Bills defense worse than a healthy Ravens defense? I don't think they are.
Healthy?
I'm not sure they are.
It should be a really fun game, though. That's why I'm like thinking maybe I should stream it. I'd have to get a stream. No, we'll think about it. We'll
TNF.
We'll talk about it.
TNF.
You got an AFC South battle between the Colts and the Titans. That should be a barn burner. Both those teams, somebody's got to do something, right? The Titans winning their first game, the Colts winning their first game against the Chiefs, and the Titans did it against the Raiders, but that's going to be a game that is going to occur at a time. That's the most excited that I could be about it, but it's for the lore. And then you got the Patriots Packers.
Yep.
We're assuming that Mac Jones is not going to be there.
Yeah. What's Mac Jones update? Mac Jones.
The Brian Hoyer show. I believe.
Brian Hoyer expects to start 56 minutes ago, but Mac Jones is telling teammates he might play. Whoa.
High ankle sprain.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Bill Belichick can get away with it. He can, because he could tell his QB, get out there. And if a media member goes, do you think you're rushing Mac Jones in? I think Bill Belichick would execute him. Just like live on air. He'd be like, any further questions? Okay, thank you. And just leave.
How would Belichick perform a murder? I feel like it would be poison.
See, I feel like it would be like the chair that the media member would like drop out, like the floor would drop out from underneath him and then maybe go into like sharks or like molten lava. That's what I think.
Yeah. So this isn't like, an ankle sprain, completely different than a head injury or a back injury. But early on, right out, like Mac Jones left that game in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
Right. Like we thought he might have like broken
leg.
it.
Yeah.
And I took out like a joke that I had about it, like it being like the most overdramatic ankle sprain that like interpretation of an ankle sprain that I'd seen. Because I was like, well, they've got to do another test to see if any ligaments were actually torn in there or whatever. But it turned out to be a high ankle sprain, which can be partial tears of ligaments. Like that's part of, in a high ankle sprain is really tough to recover from if you're a skill player. For a QB, you can probably play through it. But early on in the week, they're like, Mac Jones should be back in like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm getting a second opinion because I feel like it's going to be 6 to 8. But after a few days, he's obviously feeling better if he's thinking about even playing this week. So, a quarterback can tape up like a sprained ankle, especially a non-mobile QB like Mac Jones is, and play through that injury because you're not running a ton and cutting on it like if you're a wide receiver or whoa.
You okay?
Sorry, the TV was on and they just had like Patrick Mahomes running, but his football helmet was upside down. Am I crazy? What the
I also just realized with Kip's comment that I want to see Bill Belichick go sit on Santa's lap at the mall and see what he wishes for. I just want that picture.
Ooh.
And I want it forever. Bye, Brandon. Bye-bye. And then on Sunday night, we got ourselves a game. This should be real good. The Chiefs and the Buccaneers.
Why would they reverse the video?
They reversed the video. Probably for copyright.
It's the NFL. It's Good Morning Football.
No, they're probably going to copyright them still.
They're like, I don't want to get a YouTube claim.
Yeah, I don't want to get a claim. I don't want to get a claim. Even the NFL claims their own videos. And they're just like, hey, you can't do that. Yeah, sharks with lasers. Thank you. There you go. Laser beams. It's copyright.
Laser beams. Okay.
Yeah. Chiefs Buccaneers being played in Tampa because there was talks about being played in Minnesota and doing that, but then they are going to be playing in Tampa. I don't even know if he would lose his job. I don't know. I feel like Bill Belichick could.
They wouldn't let him murder a cheerleader. He could kill his own players, though.
Yeah, I don't think he would do that. I feel like.
Yeah, he doesn't even acknowledge that they exist. I don't.
No. He would just kill his own players. It wouldn't be something that egregious.
The next game, I just got to look at some more game film. Got to study the tape.
I do love his press conferences so much. I do. They're amazing.
Lamar Jackson he's the most electric player I've ever seen in my life. He just does things that no other quarterback can do. He's very impressive.
Like that's as good of an endorsement.
Yeah, that's the endorsement. And then it's one-worded answers.
Yeah.
You don't
I know what a Tim Hortons is. That's Canada. We went to Tim Hortons to get all of the drugs and food. They have something there. It's a store.
Okay. So yeah. Sunday night. Who do you see winning that game, Perna? Chiefs? Bucks?
Oh man, this one's tricky. Because they are keeping it in Tampa, right?
Yes.
Oh. Like if they had to go if they were playing in a different site, I'm trying to even remember who I picked here. I think I picked the Bucks to win, maybe willfully, but it feels like Tampa can't lose. Feels like they're gonna let down their entire state if they don't go win this game. Like, I know that's a weird thing to like factor in, but I feel like they've got to be ready to play. I don't know. Drew Brees won the city of New Orleans a Super Bowl after Katrina. If Tom Brady can't win a game after a devastating hurricane, it's a bad look by Tom.
Drew Brees win that for New Orleans, or
just Drew Brees
paying off the defense to hit QBs a little harder? Did that?
Don't know.
Don't know. Just saying. Onside kick too. Onside kick.
That was an all-time great Super Bowl play call. It's just balls.
Now, my question is, because you know what, Perna, let's pretend we are experts.
If the Chiefs win that game, they are anti-America. Let's put it that way. If the Chiefs go out there and win,
I think we should put even more stuff. No, we put more stakes on it. If the Buccaneers lose, they don't get federal aid for Florida. Yeah. So better hope your team wins.
Whoa.
I want more politics in football. Just inject it in there.
I'm sure Tom Brady's already looking for his tax break on this. The Buccaneers the team owner donated $1 million to, the hurricane recovery efforts. So that should be applauded as we shit on Brady and the Chiefs.
So yes, there's that one. Second thing, now I'm starting to think about it. Okay, follow me with this logic, Perna. You ready?
Yeah.
Bounty gate, bad, right? Yes. Going after Brett Favre, hitting Brett Favre a lot. Is it the Saints defense fault that Brett Favre defrauded his state?
Ooh, it could be.
More at 11. More at 11.
Yeah.
We also tell him too, like, doctors can only do so much unless it's like life-threatening. And in terms of like, you have to stay. Well, I'm sure we're going to get more answers as we go along. So, but yeah, Sunday night should be a good game. I say this because the past 2 Sunday night games have not been great.
Yeah. So. The primetime games have really struggled this season.
Trust me, I know.
A lot of low-scoring affairs, huh, Tom?
Yes, I feel like I'm cursed right now.
You are.
The games that I did, I did the Browns Steelers, then I did the Packers Buccaneers was 14-12. Yours was 10-11. Then I did the Monday night game, and I just had this Thursday. So yeah, it might be my fault.
What's Monday night?
Rams 49ers.
That's right. Okay.
That also might be a garbage game.
I hope that one's 10-9. I hope every 49ers game this year they're all 1-point games and they get less and less and less until there's no way to just get 1 point. How can you get 1 point in the NFL?
No, isn't there? No. Because you can, right on like a 2-point conversion, if you like, there's like a fumble or an interception, they run it back. Isn't that 1 point?
Oh,
or is that 2?
Can somebody lose 1-0?
Changed it. Hold on.
Can somebody lose 1-0?
6 on 2-point conversion. Hold on.
Can you get 1 point?
Is it 2 points? Is it 2? Was it 1 point? Hold on. I forget now.
If a team attempting an extra point or 2-point conversion scores what would normally be a safety, that attempting team is awarded 1 point.
I am right.
So it would have to be a safety.
Yes.
So if you're trying to kick the field goal and it gets blocked and the ball rolls all the way back and you recover it in the end zone and they tackle you, it's a safety or it goes out of the back of the end zone.
Can you imagine? You're kicking the extra point and it's just like it just rolls back 80 yards.
A 1-0 game. We must will it into existence.
We need a really windy game. And it's just going to blow backwards and just go and roll back. Okay.
Yeah. Doug Flutie scored 1 point. Oh, tight.
But it wouldn't be 1-0 though, because you still have to score a touchdown for it to be an extra point.
Oh, no, it can't happen.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Oh, that sucks. So it could be 6-1 is the only option there.
Yeah.
Damn. My dream murdered by Tom's logic.
I didn't do it. Do you see the chat right now? It's all 6-1. And Bork. All right, Perna.
I'm done.
Freaking done.
All
right, you're done. Okay.
I got a news episode coming up today. and our Broncos Madden predictions. We simulate the Madden game, the Broncos game through Madden. Will and I talk about it on That's Good Broncos for diehard Broncos fans. Tom, what are you doing? What do you got? You gonna do 4 streams Sunday? You gonna do it? You can challenge yourself to madness.
I've never done 4 before. I've done 3. So I've done all the playoff games a few years in a row now. So done that. But today I'll be putting up the roast video, Packers and Patriots. And then Friday night Q&A. And also, because you're here, the fundraiser ends tonight. Drawing is going to be during the Q&A this evening. You have a chance to win every $10 an entry. 100% of the proceeds going to support disabled veterans. Grand prize, 2 second-row tickets to the Packers-Jets game. You can do whatever you want with them. Sell them, go to the game, do whatever you want. You'll make like $700 off the tickets. Or 2, this signed Aaron Rodgers mini helmet that I literally got yesterday. I'll literally mail it out tomorrow. So
nice.
Yeah. There you go. So go. Every $10 an entry. Great cause. We raised over $10,000 this month. Let's rock.
Dang, good job, Tom. Oh, yeah, I owe one of your charities money, don't I?
I don't know, do you?
I think so.
I don't know.
Next one.
Okay. Well, the next one's the big one anyway. That's December. That's the stream that I do, like the 8-hour stream. So
cool.
There you go.
All right.
But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
Hey, and you reached your destination here in London town, USA. Go get a pizza pie with the crumpets on it for your tea time.